Good morning, it's Janice Thompson from JazzleDazzleCraft.co.uk. I'm just getting set up for live. If you're here, come and say hello. Morning Wendy, morning Rails, morning Monica. Hope you're feeling good today, Wendy. In fact, I hope everyone's feeling good. Right, so, yay, ready to craft. I'm not quite sure we're set up properly. There's always a delay. Let me have a look and see if this is straight. Hi Victoria, or Vicky. I think my phone and my stand are just all a bit unsteady. Squint. I want you to be able to see most of what I'm doing. I did notice one week that some of what I was doing was a bit out of shot, so I just want to make sure we're sorted. Right, I think that's better in that you can see most of the work surface. So stop. So, okay, so one of the teams that I'm in within Stampin' Up is called the Pinkies, and it's the team leader in the Pinkies is Michelle Last. And I was at just at a team meeting the other night there, and we did a make and take, and Michelle reminded us of just a little bit of watercolour in effect, which we did. Well, I did this card, so it was just this watercolour effect that she was showing us how to do. It's something I've done before. Doing it the way she did it with the block. I've done it before with my silicone mat, loads of times as well. I've done it with the blocks when I do something like this and get a panel. Of course, I did it squint on that one, so I had to trim it down, and then on that one I've just used the Quiet Meadow, and it would go on to the same colour of card base and be quite pretty. But today I just wanted to play. Right, I've got mine at 2 to 3, Wendy, this afternoon, so I'm trying to get as much done this morning as I can, just in case I'm not. It hit me 48 hours later when I had the first one. I'm hoping that'll be okay. Yeah. I hope it clears up quickly. And Rails, you've got Eric. Oh my goodness, right. I'm sending out some healing vibes for everyone. Hope for everyone to feel well. Yes, I'm going to do the watercolour, and then I've got another card to show you another way of using the party penguin. No, they're not penguins, they're puffins. Excuse me a wee moment. Right, so I probably not replicate this completely. I was just having a bit of fun with these baby puffins twirling about. They do kind of look a bit like penguins, don't they, apart from their beak. But let's play. We have in the Stampin' Up catalogue the most amazing watercolour paper. Now I have attempted to be an artist in the past, and I did used to do watercolour, and I've used several different kinds of watercolour papers, but this one is fabulous. It's called Fluid 100. It's in the annual catalogue towards the back, and yeah, I just love it. So I'm taking out 2 pieces, but you don't need to use a whole piece for a card. So what I usually do is cut it in half-ish, and then trim down to whatever size I want. Because sometimes if I go a bit squint, then I can straighten it up. So it measures, I bet it'll be in inches. Doesn't tell me here. I think it's 5 by 7 actually, but we'll just look at the inches are, yeah, 7 inches by 5, right. So let's just cut this down to 3.5 inches. And as I say, then we can trim that after. As usual, there's nothing really prepared, but that's kind of give you a clue. If you come to your craft desk or area, whatever you have for crafting on, and you haven't got a clue what you're doing, just take your time and just warm up and get going. So we'll do something. I'm just going to stick with the balmy blue. I need to get card bases though. Well, I would if I could find it. Maybe not. Yeah, here it is. Talk amongst yourselves. There is a fire laid if anyone's feeling chilly. I haven't lit it, but you know, you could light it if you want. Especially the people that are not feeling so good, so that I know that they're there. Right, so the game is, you need a block or something plastic. Good morning, Joanna. I also have, because I'm going to play with water, I've got a very filthy looking laminated mat here, but you know, that's what this is for messy play. Hi Shirley, and you come. I hope I've not missed anyone. So yeah, let's just see if we can sort of replicate that card. It's a bit more complicated than my usual Cuppa and Cards, but sometimes it's nice to do projects that are a bit more involved, right? So what I want to do here, I'm using this big block, but you can use whatever you've got. I mean, well, you could use the back of your phone, but I wouldn't suggest that for messy water play, but for lots of things. Just something that you have that's hard. Impermeable, I think is the word. Right, so I'm going to take my ink pad and just dab it along the bottom. I'm not covering the whole block here, because what I'm trying to do is just kind of give an impression of water or possibly ice, whatever. Water, I think, for puffing. So just put some ink on there and spraying it with water. Now we have these fantastic wee spritzers, again, the back of your annual catalogue where you find all the tools, but you need to open it the right way, Janice. I think there's enough water left in this one. I've got 1 or 2 of them around, but they're empty, and I should have done that. Anyway, let's just stop blethering, Janice, you're making it worse. So I'm just going to spritz that from here. So it's watery, very watery. I'm going to hold it still, and then I'm just going to quickly turn it over and offer it to the paper. Just like that, and hold it down. I want it on the bottom so that it's giving the watery effect. Oh, my coffee's run out. I made my coffee too early. Hi Shirley, in you come. Have you all got a cuppa? I'm giving it time just to transfer. So what we'll probably do is leave this to dry and do the other card. I don't know. We'll see. I should have lifted that back to let that run. I'm going to put it back on again, because give it a layer and then tip it back and then just let it run down. And the only issue I've got going on here is because my mat, as previously got Magenta Madness, it's threatening to mix. I'm going to get rid of this one. I do have another one that's maybe a bit cleaner. that's just as bad. Why have I not got a clean one? Guess what I have to do later on today? Oh look, this one's not quite as bad. I don't really want too much pink in my water. Usually those sort of things don't really faze me because then I like the... But I just thought I would try to show you. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to ink that up. Because this is slightly damp, it's going blotchy, which is great. And then spritz it with water. So it was really nice to get that wee reminder from Michelle, you know, to play, because playing is so good. Right, so then I'm just going to, oops, blot of water, but not to worry about that. You see it, you can watch it and just let it all just absorb into the paper. And then if I pull it back this way, all the way it runs down to the bottom, which is kind of quite good on my paper, because it gives me a darker layer again. But I have got a little bit of kitchen paper here just to take up the wet, and I can just, you could leave that if you wanted to leave it overnight. If you're not filming, you could leave it just to all soak in so you get the various that's fine though, that I'm happy with that. So, but what I'll do, because we're filming, is I will take my heat tool to dry this off a bit. So just cover your ears. Morning Jane. Yes, it's our watercolour paper, the Fluid 100. It is so worth buying. It's so much fun. You can do so much with it. And I always get at least 2 cards out of each sheet. Just heating this up. So happy birthday, Jane! Everybody please share with me and wish Jane Charlotte a happy birthday. Jane's one of my team ladies. And I happen to know it's her birthday today. Maybe a bit more actually, just... It does bevel, but when you stick it onto a back then it'll be fine. Right, so that's our background for our card. So I can take this out of the way. So then what I've used for I used for stamping my puffins is my Stamparatus. This just makes, the reason for using this is I want the puffins to be quite black. On this one they weren't quite black. And I've now re-inked my memento pads. I have 3 of them and they were all dry, so I've re-inked them, but in this one I went over the black with my black blend pen, so that is something you can do anyway if you don't get, so if you don't have a Stamparatus you could still achieve that black look, and I don't know what I'm going to achieve anyway, so anywho, I don't have pleather, do I? Right, lid on here. I won't sing to you, Jane, because then everyone would leave. I don't know which way I ever do this. Right. I want to get my magnets because this is so beveled. I think we need to hold it down. So this, you can see I use this a lot, and like my mats, it's needing a bit of a wipe over. I think it's a soapy water day today. Right, so, whoops. Let's pop some magnets to hold this flat. And I'm popping it, I'm pushing it right into, do you know what, I'm going to take this out because it's a nuisance. The paper underneath is just annoying me. These magnets are very strong. Right, but I want to know that's right in the corner there. Don't put your magnets together. You don't even ask me, you don't need to ask me why. Look what happened. But some people have worse results. Right, so then I'm going to have this wee guy. He's on a block right now, but let's pop him in here similar to that one because he's facing in. And then I'll have this one, the party one. This time we'll have him there, will we? But we'll just do them one at a time. So I'm placing, I've put my paper in, I've popped it tight in the corner so it won't slip. I'm popping my stamp where I want it, so he's just like flying down onto the water there. He's about to land. I don't know what to call my puffins. Have you any? Hi Lynn, down you come. These party puffins, this stamp set by the way is going to be in the new catalogue which is launching on Tuesday. So I have posted out my annual catalogues to anyone who's bought with me probably in the last year, but if you haven't and you would like one, then please get in touch. I'm happy to send you an annual catalogue complimentary. Let's see what happens. Just giving the ink time to absorb into the paper. Pedro puffin. What do you think? See, because it's the watercolour paper and it's got the texture, it's going to need to go down a couple of times. And even at that I might go in with my blends or my Stampin' Right markers. Just like to take a block and just make sure I'm getting enough pressure. Because your watercolour paper is textured, you're still going to get that. So I'm going to settle for that just now, I think. Or will I do one more? We'll do one more. But it is just the texture of the paper. Because my pad is very inky. To add a bit more. And then I'll probably just use the Stampin' Right marker just to bring the black up. Pedro and Penelope. Very good. Right, well, we're just going to settle for that. That's 3 times. I'm not going to do that anymore. So let's clean the stamp before you attempt to take it off, otherwise you end up covered. I've kept that chamois specially for black ink. But I've got a clean one for the normal colours which wash out easily, but it'll not be long before I mess up and put black on the one that's not meant to. But right, so here's our party penguin. Ink it up. And then just pull it down. Again, I just like to, a wee block makes it easier for me to know I'm getting even pressure. There's all sorts of ideas of doing that, so I watched some of the other demonstrators. See, so we've not got that, so that's why I'm using the Stamparatus. Not getting all the ink off that, so let's just lean a bit further. Nearly all, and then we'll do it again. I'm standing up to put the pressure on. Just do it again, just till we get that level, and as I say, we can help it along with our marker pens. If we want, I quite like, you know, the arty textured look. Getting there. Up here has not got enough. It's just it totally absorbs, and then there's the surface of watercolour paper is quite rough. Even though this looks like it's very smooth. Well, I would say you wouldn't be wasting that birthday money, Jane, because you'll get so much fun from the watercolour paper. I think what I'm thinking that maybe we should do a technique class using the watercolour paper. I just want that last bit up there. That's fine. I'm going to just settle for that because we'll be here all day otherwise. But you see what I mean? You can go over that as many times as you want. But it is a watercolour-y look, so I'm just going to do the happy birthday on here, and then now what I want is, I don't know where I want the happy birthday to be. Will we just pop it there, or no, there's a big space up here. So I've just touched the ink. Oh, Janice, you are a nightmare. So this time, I'm going to use this, what's it called? Door flap. Oh my goodness, what were the words today? Right, that's where that's going to be now. I've used it this way so that I find when I'm pulling that one down, if you're doing anything up here, you're not getting the same pressure, and I think that was my issue there. So let's just do, and I don't really want to move the card out of the corner. So I'm just going to ink up happy birthday. See, that's not so bad. That one that works quite well. Just give it another wee. Yep, that's fine. So let's take this out of the Stamparatus and put my magnets away. Out my stamp for ink washing. They've got their own little bay underneath to keep them separate, so that's grand. Pop that out of the way. So now we've got this, and I'm now stuck to that size, which is perfect because look, that's the same size as that one was. So I'm not too happy about that bit, but do you know what, we'll just go with it. So I've got some blends here to colour them in. Now, just need to be a bit careful because that ink isn't dry. I'm going to give it a whip, just a wee waft. Kia ora, Harriet. Just in case. Right, so I'm just using what's lying about from when I did the other one, so I'm just going to do their beaks, and the blends are okay. And then I'm going to use that's Mango Melody. Now if you want to have Mango Melody blends, you need to order them now. They're not carrying over to the new catalogue. Mango Melody and Rich Razzleberry. If you don't have those colours, I would urge you to get them if you want them, obviously. And this is Dark Pumpkin Pie, which is not retiring. Not sure about why the Rich Razzleberry and the Mango Melody are not coming back, but they're not, so I think there are still some in stock, so if in the UK certainly, so if you do want them, don't delay. And these are alcohol pens that I'm using. And then let's just colour up the party hat. I mean, you would have a hat to match your beak, wouldn't you? Just colour them in. So it's just a fun, and this is something, you know, you can enjoy as an adult, but equally if you have children, you could share these with them. And they're just perfect for adults and children cards. I'd be quite happy to receive that. I love puffins. And then I'm just going to take my black marker pen. I think I've got my black blends, but I'm going to try it out with the marker pen first because I think I could get a bit more detail, I'm not sure. Just replacing the line that just wasn't quite in there. And again, you can just take this over and it will get into the wee bits and just darken them up a wee bit if you want that. I'm just showing you options. You can't, and then my next card I'm going to fussy cut these guys out. So again, you could do this on this watery background too. Again, just to darken up the body a bit. Just use the Stampin' Right marker, or if you've got the basic black blends you can. But I did find that although they're fine, they did bleed a little bit, so you have to be a bit extra careful, and clearly careful's not the best thing for me to do. It's not. I didn't make half this amount of mess yesterday. Just letting you see what the options are here, and that you can mix and match Stampin' Right markers and blends. I'm just a great believer in using what you've got. There you go, it does make them look that bit blacker and it strengthens the drawing. So, and then I just need a piece of black, which will be, since that was done in inches, wasn't it? So it was 3.5 by 5 inches, 3.5 inches by 5 inches. Let's see, I'm usually do my cards in centimetres, so I'm just going to take it up. What, 1/8 of an inch? 5 1/8. Oh, hi Heather, didn't see you were in. I'm concentrating here. And then 3.5 inches plus 1/8. Just to give me a wee black border. And then a card base. Which, to get my card bases that I've been doing lately, it's score at 10.5. We're back to centimetres, by the way. A mix and match. And then I cut it in half, and I've got two. So basically score in half, cut in half, whatever size of paper you're using. And then this will layer onto that. So I'm actually going to splash out and open a new bottle of Tombow. I prefer to use wet glue for mounting my watercolour paper because once it's dry it sticks really firmly. Well, you'll have lots of time to lots of things to play with there. So hopefully I get a bit extra time next week to play as well, because it's Bank Holiday Monday here in the UK. So I don't do my other job, so unless the weather's fantastic, we decide to go on a road trip or something now that we can. So I'm just gluing that down, trying to make sure it's nice and flat and nice and straight, and then glue it onto my card base, and we're done. Although of course you can decorate the inside of the card. There you've got a nice therapeutic, relaxing process to make this card. It wasn't really hard, it just a few steps to it. So there's the one that I made in at this team meeting, and there's the one we've made today. So obviously you can fancy it up, and you can put, so there it's got 3 different penguins. It's got baby penguin, we've got candles, a wee fish for them to eat, wrapped up fish for your birthday. You bet you're glad you didn't get that, Jane, for your birthday. So, and a birthday cake. So I'm going to go on now and make a birthday card. Because I do need a birthday card for my wonderful grandson, who's going to be 3 in Australia. He's going to be 3 on Saturday, and I'm only making his card today. So what kind of granny am I? Pretty hopeless granny, but hey, but we're going to have, so what I've done here is I've cut a square based card base. So this is 14 centimetres by 28 centimetres folded in half, and this is a 13.5 centimetre square. I had started making this, and then I decided I would share it with you guys. So how I achieved these holes in this piece of card is with the rectangle postage stamp punch. And so what I've done is I've put my punch in right to the corner there, so that it's pushed as far in as it can, and it's lined up with the corner, and then I punched. Then I came round to the next corner, so I turned it 90 degrees and did exactly the same again, and 3rd time and the 4th time. So I had already done that just to save a bit of time today, but I thought I would just show you how I did it. So to give this texture, because this is, my puffins are going to be looking out these wee windows, to give it texture, I used on the other one, sorry, I didn't show you my sample, did I? Sorry. So I did this one using the postage, and I got them a bit squint, but I quite like it, and I was going to use this and put his name and his age there, but then I discovered this is actually too big for the box that I'm sending some gifts in. He'll get it before his 4th birthday, I'm sure. Well, I'll speak to him as well though. And I've actually sent something via Amazon Australia, so that he will receive something from us on his birthday. But he's going to be 3, he'll be none the wiser. So yeah, this one is what I did, but it won't fit in. So we're just using that as where the idea is. So for the texture on this card, I just did tone on tone with the Mango Melody. These are texture stamps that are coming in the new catalogue too. So from Tuesday, everyone can have these. And I used this one. So this time I'm going to use this sort of stone effect one. Let's see what that does. And I tidied my Mango Melody in away because I thought I didn't need it, but clearly wasn't paying attention, was I? And I'm just going to clean off that properly. It looks like it's still got some. I think the last ink colour I used with that was the Evening Evergreen. So yeah, this is an easy card really, but just maybe takes a bit more time. Yeah, kids of 3 are not really that fussed about presents and cards and things, like you say. Party food, empty boxes are always good. So let's just see what happens with this. Oh, I like that. I'm addicted to tone on tone stamping. And I'm not worrying about overlaps or anything like that. I'm just adding texture to the background. Not that there's anything wrong with our plain card, it's a beautiful card. Let me just have a bit more here. There we go. So that just adds a bit more interest and a bit more depth. That must be cleaned. And that will go on there with some dimensional. But pop that aside just now and do our puffins. Okay, take care. Shirley, thanks for joining me. So now I'm going to stamp puffins. I've got a scrap piece of card and I'm going to stamp the wee guys on here and fussy cut out. So, we'll have a baby and we're going to have a cake, a baby. Doesn't want to come out. And probably happy birthdays, but we'll do them later, right? Where did I put the penguins? Oh, they're all lying here to get washed. They're waiting for their bath. Right. Okay, let's see how we go here. See what happens now. Okay, so we've got tuxedo black, memento. Yeah, they're fun. And hopefully this year I want to go, I think it's the Isle of May on the 1st or 4th, which is really not far from where I live. I would like to go and see them. You can do a boat trip out. There's an island that's not far from here where puffins like to congregate, so I've just stamped 2 of each at the moment. I won't need 2 of each, but there will be more cards and I'm going to fussy cut them out, but it doesn't really take too long. And then this one. You have to press a wee bit harder with the memento because it's a felt pad, where our other pads are foam. To make sure you've got to see the difference. Just by sometimes a wee twist, just to make sure you've got enough ink. Turn it around and we'll have a cake, will we? Birthday, we always like to have cake. and a baby penguin. So two completely different cards today, with the same stamp set. Just showing you different ways that you can use it, because sometimes you buy a stamp set because you want to do a particular thing, but I like to make them cost effective and do different things. Right, I'm jumping about in my seat here, I'm not very comfortable. Where are my snips? Here's a pair here, right. So let's at least get ourselves one of each. So this was the better one of that. That one's quite good. Obviously they need a bit of colour added to them. We'll have baby and cake here, and then we'll see if we need any more, we'll bring them in when we're making up the card. But let's just very quickly now, you could do the kind of fussy cutting where you leave a white border. That tends to take me a bit longer to do, so I'm just going for quick. These are nice strong lines that you can just chop around. I'm doing a very quick version of fussy cutting, obviously, so that we can make the card up, and then we'll colour them out. There's all sorts of expert advice about fussy cutting, which I'm not. I just do. I don't think about it too much. Some people will like do it all in a winner, and they say move the paper, not the scissors. I'm not sure what exactly I do, so very hard to change habits that you've developed over years. So I'm sure there's a more slick way to do it, but sometimes trying to teach an old dog new tricks, not always easy. Oh, I didn't unhad it. I've not checked, but we'll see. I've only really looked in depth at the sets that were in our pre-order. But if there's a kiwi, we'll be having a kiwi. And a kanga. Funnily enough, I didn't buy the last kangaroo set that we had. But I think my grandchildren are kind of, yeah, granny, we see them every day, so don't really need you to keep. But kiwis are different because they're a protected species, aren't they? Are they endangered, aren't they? Take care, Heather. The only thing with fussy cutting, like colouring, I go quiet, which I know for some people is hard to believe. Right, one puffin, and I still keep thinking they're penguins, and my mouth keeps wanting to say penguins, and yet my brain knows they're puffins, quite clearly puffins. And a little puffling. That's what baby puffins are, they're pufflings. I know this looks like it's taking ages, but it really doesn't. What it does do is create a mess on my desk. So I'm going for my second jab this afternoon. So I'm excited about it, but just a wee bit worried about a reaction, because I did have a reaction the first time. So I'm hoping that a lot of people have reported that they only got a reaction with one of their jabs. So I'm hoping that I don't get a reaction. However, a reaction is still less than the dangers of having COVID without a vaccination. So we'll deal with whatever comes our way. The biggest thing from the first one was it really made my tinnitus really loud. That was... Well, that's funny, Muriel, that your brain must work as the same as me. I think it's just the black and white thing, isn't it? I do like penguins as well, but we did have an amazing penguin set, didn't we, last year? I think they like to ring the changes a bit, so yeah. So who's excited for this new annual catalogue? Anyone who wants one from me, just get in touch. I've posted out all the ones that have already been requested, or to all my customers who have ordered in the last year. Happy to send one out, but you need to get in touch with me. Complimentary. It's the best crafting ideas book I've ever seen. It is full of inspiration. Whoops, I nearly cut his throat. That's not a good thing. Right, and then just the wee space around his feet and his tummy. So how is everyone today? Have I asked that already? My brain's not... I know it's Jane's birthday. And oh yeah, there's loads that I want, but I've not made a definite decision. So later on today I'm going to be designing my card kit for May. And I have to make a decision. I haven't actually decided what stamp set I'm going to base it around. I keep changing my mind. Do we do more flowers? Or shall I do, you know, I was thinking of sweet strawberry. And then I was thinking of quiet meadow. And now I can't decide which one to focus on for me. Does anybody want to help me decide? Just, again, I'm nearly done, my baby. My little puffling. Come on. So I was getting these wee knittery bits out. Just fold it back and cut it that way. Normally this is something to, you know, stamp a pile of these sort of things and sit and stuff fussy cut them while you're watching TV or something. Or sitting out in the sun. Like, sun is a little bit elusive here though. We had summer last week, I think. Right, so there's the... people ones. I don't know. Obviously it needs to be something that I've already got as well, which I don't have, the kangaroo one. You can't, you know, you can't really design cards with something you haven't got. Come June, I will have bought a few more things. So the June one maybe. All the Stampin' Up will be launching their kits, so we'll see what comes in that. We're nearly there, and then we just need to colour it in. I'm not going to cut too much detail around the candles, to be fair. Obviously you can take your time and you can do whatever fussy cutting you like, with a border, without a border. It's like the debate. Some people like and some people don't, so just do what pleases you. 10 minutes, can she do it? Does it matter if she doesn't? No, it doesn't matter if she doesn't. I'm just folding them back, those last wee bits, and just snip them out that way, because I don't want to take the risk of snipping off the candles. Right, get all the mess out of the way, and then just bring in some colour, and we got, oh, I like the dark ones because it gives you the nice strong colour. Just going to stick with what's out, because you can imagine the state my desk will get in if I bring any more things out. I've got much to say for myself, have I, today? I'm like too busy concentrating. We've got birthday cake to match their beaks, why not? This isn't about blending or anything artistic, this is just about getting some colour on. I quite like to add just a bit of orange into the flame. Orange candles. And then, shouldn't say orange, should I? It's pumpkin pie. But it is an orange, so I'm not wrong. I'm not really seeing your comments because I'm concentrating here. Oh, hi Karen. Yeah, well, let you see this. I've already done one card and I'm on my second card. That's all we're getting today is 2, but we're taking our time. So we're playing with Party Penguins. And the other one is the same stamp set but a different technique. So we'll let you see that in a wee minute. I'm just giving them no idea whether these colours are authentic or not, and I don't really care. I know they've got colourful beaks. I actually think some of them have got like red in their beaks. But sure, our Scottish guys have got red in their beaks and maybe a bit of blue also. But these ones, we were giving Mango Melody a wee last fling because these are not carrying over, so if you want Mango Melody and Rich Razzleberry blends, get them ordered today. After Monday they won't be available. Just don't say, you know, don't say you weren't warned. Right, so card. let's get back to the card build. So I need some dimensional. What I'm after is a foam sheet, and I think they're in here, but of course I didn't get any ready. But yep, luckily my drawers are reasonably organised, and I can find one. So I want to raise this up, so I'm turning it over here to put some. This is like our dimensionals, but it's a foam sheet, so it's sticky on both sides. Again, a great staple in your craft armoury, as they say. It's really handy for jobs like this. So I'm just going to pop that right down. Then I'm making this up as I go along, but that's fine. Just want it into from the edge a bit so it won't show. And then I want another thin strip. Just cutting this a bit thinner. We do have thin foam sticky strips which are handy too. I'm not quite sure if they're handy in my drawer, but they, for jobs like this, I find they're just a wee bit higher for this. They raise the card a bit higher, but that's okay too. I don't know if this will cut on the trimmer because I'm not a very straight cutter, but it's doing the job. Yeah, these are great for cutting out the letters, the playful alphabet, which I will be doing when I finish this card off later. When I add names to cards or ages, I use the playful alphabet dies, because not only have they got the alphabet, they have got numbers as well. Put that there. I want just a bit here, so we'll just do a bit of a wee rectangle-y bit and pop it in here. That should support it all. And then we want to aim this in the middle of there. Now, if you're like me and you're guilty of getting things a bit squint or a bit wonky and you really want it to be straight, you can pop a bit of wet glue. Ooh, if you can get your fingers off. There, and again that will give you that bit of wiggle room. I shouldn't be saying brand names, but you know what I mean, the glue sticks, they're quite handy for that as well, to pop over your foam. So again, I just want to get this, whoopsie, gives you that chance to just lift it up again. And the good thing is that glue dries clear. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm going to go with that. So then we're just going to arrange. Oh, he's not had his feet coloured. Come here, wee guy. Little pufflings need their feet coloured. There you go. So we can pop him in there. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, but again, just make it up. If you're not sure, just make it up. You could play about all day and decide who's going where, but or you can just stick things down. Again, I'm using the foam sheet to raise them up. There we go. We'll pop that cake there. We need another little. Again, I could dig out my other dimensionals, but because I've got this foam sheet out, might as well just use it. That's too big for that one, so pop it on here. wee one for baby. Just need the one under his tummy there. Might as well cut one here. So yeah, so everything that I've used today is available at my online shop at JazzleDazzle.stampinup.net. If you want to read more about what I do, you can go to JazzleDazzleCraft.co.uk, where I have a blog which I try to update frequently but don't always succeed, but one day. But there's plenty of information there, and there's a link to my shop. And this one has having a bit of a land there, so that's cheerful, isn't it? Now, on this one I did that happy birthday. Now I think I'm going to struggle to get that on there, although it might just go across there. I did have a strip ready. So let's have a go now. To do that in white, I used my white embossing powder. Have I got my, here it is, I did lay it out but then I covered it all over. Okay. Right, so I've got a strip here that I've cut to 1.5 centimetres, 1.5 centimetres. I use my embossing buddy. Yeah, the hat could, the hat could be, no, the cake could be a hat, you're right. I've actually lost the stamp set. I don't know where I've got the textures one, but I don't know where that one's gone. Well, there it is. So yeah, there's other stamps in there as well. The wee candles, there's the wee fish, so I could, you know, probably could do that fussy cut the wee fish out as well. So there's loads that I can add if I want to, but let's just see if we can get a happy birthday on first. So I've used my embossing buddy. I've got my stamp here. I'm just going to clean it off a bit more because I did use it with our black memento and I don't particularly want black in my Versamark ink. Now this is a sticky ink if you've not seen this process before. So what I'm doing is I'm inking it up with this sticky see-through ink. I'm going to pop it this end. And I'm actually going to do another one at this end because I might need it, or I might not. One might be better than the other. So, and if they're both okay, then I can use them both. Right, so lid on everything, a scrap of paper, some kind of shopping list here in the bin, so we'll just use that. I know I'm going to make a mess, I just feel it in my bones. We're running a wee bit over time. We usually finish at 12, but I'm nearly done, so if you're okay to hang out with me, we'll get there. Do appreciate your time, but we're nearly there. Just as well to finish it, yeah. So I'm just going to flick that a little bit just to get off any extra surplus powder that we don't need. And then I'm going to bring in my heat tool, so if you've got sensitive hearing, you might want to switch the sound down. They're both okay, but we'll just see. I'm not quite sure if it's going to have to be a shorter. I just think the wee short one worked best, so I'm just going to pop some. I probably didn't let you see it long enough for you to decide there. So we're nearly done, everybody. I'm just going to make a space and show you our 2 cards. And I'll show you the 2 sample cards that they came from. I'm just going to waft it all to the side. Actually, I've got a good way to do this today, because I've got these thin ones on top of. I wasn't so smart, was it? I like to just finish off with a nice clean sheet. So here's the 2 cards we made today. And these are this is the one I did at my team meeting. And this is the one I did after the team meeting, playing myself. So, yay. I did get my fingers in the ink with this one. It's a wee bit blotchy, but it's okay. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. So yeah, thank you very much everyone who has come and chatted today. So just 2 different ideas to get you using. I think the idea for the characters coming out of the holes, I have seen a few demonstrators do this, but I have, in particular, Stacey Marsh, I watched her do one with the donkeys during celebration, and I think it was round holes, I think. But in the new catalogue there is a fantastic die coming where you can cut out several circles or several squares, I think it is, or rectangles, all at once from one die, which will be interesting. But that's where that idea came from. So thank you Michelle Last for prompting me to play with my inks and water again, and thank you to Stacey for the card with the apertures and her holes in. Anyway, thank you very much everyone. Hope you have a fantastic day, and if I'm feeling okay later on today, I have got another idea to come on to YouTube with. If I get a chance I will do live, but it will be much later in the day. So thanks everyone, sleep well, play hard, whatever you're doing, enjoy. Bye bye.